Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Genevieve Designs. Today I just wanted to do a quick video on the Tonic Studios Tim Holtz new rotary media paper trimmer. Sorry about the glare. I still have it in the box, but I have used it one time, and I stated that before, and a lot of you all thought that meant that was a negative, but I have used it one time, and that wasn't a negative. I just pulled it out and wanted to see what it was about, and then put it back so that I could, oops, I want to go the other way, so that I could show you, oh, that's as good as it gets. So I could show you in a video. I'm going to keep the box close by. I am not going to go into a lot of detail because Tim Holtz made a video on when he introduced his new paper trimmer, and I will link it down below in the description box if you guys want to go check it out. It's extremely detailed. He cuts through a ton of materials. Since it's like a media trimmer, it's supposed to like cut through anytime you use any texture paste or anything like that. Anything that you would use like in mixed media kind of stuff. So it's supposed to be able to cut through really, really cleanly. And it does have feet that swing out here. Do they swing out? Yes, they do. It does have feet that swing out. It's not super heavy, in case you were curious. And it does go all the way to 12. And of course, as with all of these type of paper trimmers, I know this upsets a lot of people, that there is a small gap in between this ruler and this ruler. I get it. I understand that can be frustrating, but to me that's not like a game changer. So this paper trimmer, you guys, people have opinions. People have opinions one way or the other, and they're pretty strong opinions, which is interesting for a paper trimmer. So I don't know how you guys feel about it, but my favorite paper trimmer is this one here. This is a little bit bigger than that paper trimmer. Look, it won't even fit. It's hitting my tripod. It's a lot bigger than this paper trimmer. It's a lot heavier than this paper trimmer, but it is my favorite paper trimmer. So this is the Fiskars. This is the Fiskars ProCision paper trimmer, and I love this guy. Okay, I'm gonna set it aside for a second because I wanted to do some comparison between the two. Now, they're both rotary trimmers. They're both on a bar. My favorite paper trimmer has 2 bars. This one has 1 bar. These little feet flip out, which is fine because a lot of people just, you know, may make cards, or I'm gonna have to adjust you just a little bit. And you may not need it to flip out that far, so you may not need that whole 12-inch, you know, 12.5 inch, I think is what it says, extending, you know, extender bar. So this could be perfect for you, and a lot of people are excited about this because it cuts through chipboard, it cuts through mat board, I believe. I'm assuming that it only cut through such a certain type of, like, it only gets so thick, is what I'm trying to say. It only cuts through such a thick amount. No, it only will cut through a certain thickness. It won't cut, you know, unlimited thicknesses of things. But my paper trimmer, the one I like, it also cuts through chipboard. And it also cuts through everything that this paper trimmer can cut through. It's also a rotary. This one is, it says it's self-sharpening. It's a self-sharpening paper trimmer, which means you should never have to change the blade on this. This one says, it doesn't say it's a self-sharpening, but they do, I don't think it says self-sharpening. They do offer a replacement majiggy thingamabobs. Let's see, it says, let's see. Used for chipboard, canvas, cardstock, and paper. But it does, they do offer a replacement thingy, cartridge, housing thing here. Whatever you want to call that. They do offer replacements. Fiskars will replace the whole paper trimmer, more than likely. They are both about the same price point. I think this one was $89 before taxes and shipping. And I think this one, it can run from $80 to $120 depending on where you get it. I will link them both in the description box. This one does not have any wiggle. I mean, it'll go this way, but there's no wiggle back and forth. This one does have some wiggle, so people seem to be upset about that. But I'm just going to tell you right now, I didn't watch any video, not a single video on this paper trimmer all the way through. I watched Tim's video for maybe 10 minutes, and I asked him a question. It might have been 15. And I asked him a question about, can you see where you're cutting? So, and he answered. He actually answered. It was towards the end of the video. I asked him, can you actually see the line that you're cutting? And he turned his camera back around and he demonstrated it once again and said that you could. So that is why I purchased this paper trimmer. I also purchased this paper trimmer because I thought, oh, well, that would be great to have an alternative to this paper trimmer, because, you know, sometimes they're hard to find. So I thought, well, let's see, because, you know, if I like it, I can also recommend this one as a good alternative. Okay. So I just want to start off by saying this is my opinion. This is all related into how I craft and the things that I do and how I use my paper trimmers and what I use my paper trimmers for. I have another paper trimmer. I'm going to take a picture of it. It's huge. I can't just bring it over here. Oh, wait a minute. I got something sitting on my paper trimmer. I'm going to take a picture so you can see what it looks like. I hope my phone's not too dirty. I also have a Rotatrim, because this is like a heavy duty, couple $100s, if not more. I will link it down below. Heavy duty. It cuts very large paper, and that's one of the reasons I have it, is because I needed to cut large paper. Also, it cuts through everything. So a lot of times when I'm creating templates, and I do a lot of paper cutting, I use my paper trimmers constantly. So this is not necessary for just the average crafter, you know, just the hobbyist or something. This is a heavy duty. And if you also have really big paper, like that one goes to 12 inches by 15. So if you have larger paper, then you may want to look at this. I'll link it down below as well. Shoot, now I'm going to have to change my battery. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I think we're good. I got my battery changed. I don't even remember what I was saying. But so the huge paper trimmer, that one was a game changer for me. But again, this is my business. This is what I do for a living. I do a lot of paper trimming, and you don't have to. That giant paper trimmer that I have behind me, you don't have to sharpen the blade or replace the blade. I've had it for years. It's totally fine. I've had this one for years. It's totally fine. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion based on what I do with a paper trimmer, okay? So in case you don't know and you're new here, I create printable templates that you print out onto your cardstock, you cut them out, and you assemble them together to create a mini album. And I was just getting ready to actually show you the new thing I got coming out in the next couple days. I'm glad I did. I almost grabbed it to say this is kind of what I create. But anyway, if you want to check out some of the stuff that I create, you can just hit my channel name and go see some stuff that I've been creating if you're new to my channel. But anyway, so it's very important for me and for what I do to be able to cut right on this line. Now, this paper trimmer has a learning curve, okay? My favorite paper trimmer, look how dusty. It's got paper dust all over it. It has a learning curve, and the learning curve on this one is, I'm going to scooch in just so you can kind of maybe see a little bit better, is that the plastic, this thing here, and this metal edge here, they're not the same. there is 1/32 of an inch between this plastic and this metal blade. If 1/32, it could be even smaller. And so a lot of times people will line their paper up. Let me see if I can't get it to focus. Let me go like this. People will line their line, the line that they want to cut. They will line it up with this plastic guard thingy here. And that's not where you want to line it up. You want to line it up to where it's a little bit past. So instead of it being right flush with this plastic piece, you need to go just a little bit further out. Just a little bit. Just a teeny bit. So I've got it lined up not with the plastic, because you can kind of see, you can kind of push the plastic back a little bit and you can see there's this little bit. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if I can zoom in any more. I don't know how well you can see this plastic edge, and then there's that line. So I've got it to where it's lined up on the metal blade is lined up exactly where I want to cut this paper. So I cut the perfect cut. I cut it right on the right on that line, right on the outside of this line that's there. And that's what I wanted. I don't know why it's focused on my finger and not the paper. Come on. I know I'm really close. Let me see if I scoot back out. Okay, so I cut it perfectly. And then if you look on this piece, you'll see that there was a tiny gap between that piece and this piece. So there's a tiny little gap there, right? So I cut it exactly where I wanted it to. So that is the learning curve on this. Plus on this one, let me scoot you back out again. Whoop, I keep going the wrong way. This one is heavy. I've already told you that. And it's got 2 bars. And it flips out like this. So you've got a full platform here to put your 12 by 12 paper or whatever it is, and you can line it up, and it's a solid piece. The only thing is it's got that gap. So this one's got the 5.5 mark, and then there's a gap, and then the 6 inch is right on this edge on this side. So you've got a 1/2 inch here that you have to kind of either tape it, guess, you know, if you wanted a 6 inch, or not a 6 inch, if you wanted like a 5 3/4 or something like that, then you would have to actually mark your markings on the paper trimmer somehow. I've just over the years learned how to guesstimate as best as I can. So, yeah, so this is a solid, to me, this is a solid paper trimmer. And it also cuts through chipboard. I'm going to go up just because it's easier for me to push up. This is the chipboard. This is 30-point chipboard that I use all the time. I mean, I use it all the time. Okay, this is what I use most of the time for my scrapbook mini album covers. So I'm just going to stick it in there and push. So I have a nice clean cut, just like you would with this paper trimmer, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. So it cuts through chipboard, and then you can go back and it'll cut perfectly through a piece of cardstock as well, no problem. All right, so this is my paper trimmer of choice. It doesn't wiggle. It's an easy, easy to push, easy to grip, about the same price point, all that jazz. This can flip up if you need to, if you need to get this up to get something thicker up under. Yeah, and then it also has these markings on this side. It's like 1 inch, 2 inch, just a little bit on the other side, okay? All right, so my favorite paper trimmer. Okay. Now this paper trimmer, the only thing that, well, first let me show you. It will cut the same chipboard, right? And it cuts it just as nice as, I don't know though. I didn't watch to see if it matters which way you're going, but I do know you need to press down. I think, is it press down or press in to get a perfectly straight line? Let me grab that piece of cardstock I just had. I don't know. Somebody said that it won't cut like a straight line if you just push it in there, or it cuts like a, yeah, it's not a clean line. So I'm thinking you have to push in. Yeah, I don't know. This might be the learning curve on this one that people are mentioning. Well, that one was pretty good. So, but anyway, it cuts chipboard just fine. So if you're a card maker, or if you're making a mini album that's 4x6 and your covers are 4x6, you can put it up there. You know, you can measure. Well, there's to the 6. You know, that's nice. But with my templates, you either tracing things out or cutting things out that you've printed. So having the measurements for the size is, for me, doesn't really, it doesn't come into play. Do you know what I mean? But it does cut, it cuts through chipboard, okay? But here's the thing. Here, let's try the short end here. Let's just do a short end. So it's the same deal about lining the line that you want to cut at. Now let me scoot back in. I'm trying to not have that glare. We'll see. So lining this little line right here up to where the blade's gonna cut. It's the same deal. This plastic piece is offset a little bit, and the blade actually sticks out a lot further than the plastic piece. But the thing is, you can't see the line. And I mean, you can see it, but you're literally, your head's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth because of this stationary bar. Now with mine, the bars are on the side, and you can see there is no looking back and forth, tossing your head back and forth, looking, okay? Oh, whoop. Caught it. Whew. Almost dropped my favorite paper trimmer. Okay, so you're directly above the cut. So basically your head is there as well most of the time. So the bar is directly above the cut. So if there was any improvements made to this paper trimmer, that would be the one thing that I would appreciate, is if it wasn't in the way. So you can't see, so there is more of a guessing game, and it could just be a learning curve, right? But for me, this is like the most important thing. Now, I tried to line it up as best I could, and it didn't do terrible. If you get there in there close, let me see if I always go the wrong way. I do that with all kinds of stuff too. It's kind of comical, really. You see, I didn't get it right on the line. There's a bit of white on the other side, but it cut perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine paper trimmer. It's good and sturdy feeling, you know. It seems like it's a perfectly fine paper trimmer. However, for me, I need a paper trimmer that I can line up that line that's printed out. And again, if you don't use these types of templates, then this is not a problem for you, right? So I'm going to try once again to see if I can't get this lined up. And I'm going to push and pull. And I also don't like this. There's a little bit of a dip here. It's hard to get the paper out of. Now, I did a better job that time. That time I got right on the line, so I did good. That one was good. So, you know, it's just something you either are willing to, you know, go through the learning curve or not. Either way. And that is the only thing about this paper trimmer that bothers me. Other than that, it seems like a perfectly fine paper trimmer. It cuts through, you know, thick things. As far as for my templates, this one is a little bit more of a struggle for me than this one. If you're going to get a heavy-duty paper trimmer, in my opinion, this one is the way to go if you do my kind of crafting. Now, again, I like the paper trimmer. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with this paper trimmer. It's just the way that I craft and what I do. My needs, this one doesn't fit my needs like this one does, or like my big monster heavy-duty one behind me. So that's just my thoughts on this paper trimmer. It's a lovely paper trimmer. It cuts paper, it cuts chipboard. It does what it says it's gonna do. Everything's gonna have a design flaw. You know, there's always a few issues here and there of things, and I get that, and nothing can be perfect. But for me, this is my paper trimmer of choice. I can see better. These are shifted to the side. This one's right on top. And it just really depends on your type of crafting. So it's a great paper trimmer. It seems like it's heavy duty. I'm sure that it's backed up with warranties or whatever it is that they do. It has the replacement blades. The arms swing out. I mean, compared to this paper trimmer, these little arms are kind of flimsy, but this is a heavy duty paper trimmer. So this one's good. It's just a different learning curve for my templates. Okay? So if you do have this and you're working with my templates, you're just going to have to teach yourself exactly how to place your paper in the paper trimmer in order to get the correct cut. So if you ever have a misprint, or if you ever print off extras of something you don't need, practice trimming, you know, the lines. Or if you really want to get crazy, oh, where did I put, nope, don't show them that. Nope. You could literally take one of the printed binding pages out of my templates and practice with this paper trimmer, practice getting that perfect line each time. I mean, you could just measure it out and trim it out just perfectly, but the whole point is to teach yourself how to use this paper trimmer with the templates, if that makes sense. So if you're looking for a new paper trimmer, this one's great. It's perfectly fine. It does what it says it's going to do. It has a little bit of a learning curve. I prefer this learning curve over this learning curve, but again, I have this one, so I'm not going to reach for this one as much unless something happens to this one. So it's just my thoughts and my type of crafting. So yeah, as always, thank you so much for joining me today, and do let me know what you think down in the comments. Let's have a discussion about it. If you use my templates and you've tried this paper trimmer, and let me know what you're doing to tweak that one little thing that makes it difficult to cut out my templates, right? Anyway, that is my thoughts, you guys. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave me a comment. Be nice. Thank you so much. That's all I have for you today. I will see you guys really soon.